bearing capacity, recommendations for foundations, and pavement. And in all honesty, I told you the recommendation for your pavement would be to assume you have 4 subgrades. And we do that just to have a conservative pavement specimen. And save us from the one thing that lawyers are allergic to, and that is attorneys. So, what questions do you guys have? Are we clear with the planning board reports? Do not hand them in. If you get a chance when this whole health issue resolves and you feel safe in your situation to go out, I strongly do invite you to go see one of your own township's planning board meetings. Number one, see if you've got reputable people representing your town and protecting it. That's what those boards are for, right? What if this land here was designated as open space and you sent this plan to the town and they approved it? Would you feel good about that, government? You can speak up here. No one's got any thoughts?
Wait, what do you mean open space?
Designated as open space, meaning it's protected for wildlife. So say this whole property was state protected by, and I mean New Jersey State DEP, and you went to the township with this proposal and they approved it, and you went out and constructed it without contacting the state. Would
No.
you have a lot of respect for that government?
No.
Not at all. You shouldn't. Does that happen in today's world? I don't know. Maybe not at this extent. Have I seen little things get by boards that would blow your mind? Yeah, I think I've given you some examples in class. But I invite you again to go see who's representing your town, who's looking out for your town. Do you have a planning board and a zoning board that regularly permits development in a flood zone? Is that good for your town? Take a guess. Is developing in a flood zone good?
No, it's not.
No, not, because any building you put in there is displacing water, which means you're just raising flood elevation, right? Or you could be creating different currents and velocities downstream of you. You could even be taking out a neighbor's house in crazy situations. But a lot of this stuff, you hope your government is not approving, and you hope that your mayor or your council are appointing citizens who are out there looking to protect your town. The only thing they have to protect that town is the law, and that is the code. They literally cannot say, you know, we don't want you to develop that property because we expected it to be woods forever. That's not legal, especially from a developer side or a landowner side. What if this was your property and there were no environmental constraints on it, and your family has had it for generations, and it just has never been developed, and someone sent it to you, and you saw a means of putting up, you know, maybe I could fit 10 lots on it. Is it fair for the town to say that we're not going to approve this plan because we don't want it? No, it's not, and it's not legal. But the town has development code, the state has development code, and the county in some areas has development code to protect neighbors townships themselves. How many people in an area like this, what would you say if the person who owned this lot wanted to put up a chemical factory here? And let's get a good idea of what is around us. Turn off here, these layers. Does this look like an area that's well equipped, or is the residents are gonna want a chemical factory?
No.
No. Nowhere. No one wants something like that in a residential area. And again, a land developer could propose it. It's up to the town government to write the laws that would prevent that, and then have the people sitting on these boards that will protect that law and those neighbors. So please get out there, see what's going on in your town. Not every member on a board needs to be a civil engineer or a land use attorney to be aware of the township ordinance and know how to cast a vote to protect it or not. So what questions do we have? What questions do you guys have with your projects? How do you stand? By a raise of hands, and let me see if I can get this all, how many have their roadway grading and detention basin grading? Okay, I hope everybody's still looking to find out how to raise a hand. If you are, I think if you click your button up here, this icon, ears, and you should be able to somewhere raise a hand or something. Maybe it's down here. I don't know. You guys tell me. Oh, maybe it's on your panel. You guys tell me how to raise a hand. All right. All right. Go to chat. I'm looking at your questions. And any questions that you guys have, and again, don't focus it on CAD. You have reports, you have calculations, and you have maps that are required. So how can I help you get what is in your syllabus? And let me get to that document. Let's go through that a little bit. But type questions. Good question. I got one coming in. We'll get to that. Keep typing your questions. The outline, material, and all right. So let me share. Oh, that's not the right one. This is the right one over here. Okay. This is the syllabus I keep referring to in your class handout. Blah, blah, blah. Course and project report requirements. So I hope you guys are very familiar with this again. Everything that is required is in here or in your notes. I gave you a few additional things like your maximum slope that is allowed, or the maximum grade that is allowed proposed, and that's 3-on-1. I did give you guys other requirements for areas around the house and the backyards, the driveways and the parking area. But again, when you're making your maps and your reports, you should be going back to this document. Right? When I made that SCD plan and I was asking what I was missing, and I brought in those references, all existing and proposed property lines, right? They should be on every map. All existing topographic features, they should be on every map. These are all common. These are all your precisions for your units. This map you should have done. This should all be set, but here you go. Minimum requirements, plan sheets properly bound and folded. Scale. All right, so don't be giving me 80 scale sheets numbered with a sheet index, title blocks, group numbers. You guys have seen this. Existing features, all plan sheets, proposed features, all plan sheets. Now again, I told you on your subdivision, no elevation data. So this was not required on your subdivision. But all the requirements, right? People got point taken off for this, not labeling the center line, radius. Everything I was looking for is all right here. When I do the grading, I have a checklist based on this. All right, I'm making it really pretty easy. Don't forget your drainage area map. You should have one for the detention basin, and then another for the inlet capacity, showing the drainage areas for each inlet. Right? Here's your soil erosion and sediment control plan we spoke about. Right? And I showed you hopefully how easy it is to do that. Right? Your quantity takeoff, we spoke about that last week. No, we did not. Your quantity takeoff is your cost estimate. And this should be, again, pretty simple. You can go out onto the internet and get approximate costs for all this stuff that you are proposing. Do not include residential improvements. That means the buildings or the driveway. What you should be including is the roadway, proposed storm sewer, proposed sanitary sewer, and the proposed water, and of course the detention basin. Your soil erosion and sediment control measures are in there as well. And if you Google, you can find these costs out there pretty easily. If you work for a contractor, know a contractor, he could probably rattle these off his head. But prepare an approximate cost estimate. On our last class, I'll give you guys an idea of where that should be coming in, this number. Here's your engineering reports. Content and format, review this when you write your reports. Everything you need, this is your outline. This is your whole report right here. I would literally copy this, paste this into a work document, and fill it out for your project. That's really all you have to do. Yes, I do know how easy that, I made that, right? Because it tells you everything put into, right, your introduction. We discussed this. Provide the project's location, description of the existing conditions, project scope, the governing regulations. Identify constraints, environmental constraints, and or variance or waiver. And include a general compliance statement. That means, A, our project meets all these regulations I've listed up here. What are the governing regulations? And speak up for this. What are the governing regulations we are conforming to for this project?
RSIS.
RSIS is one.
And the NJ stormwater rule.
Stormwater rule is two. Somebody else give me the last one. Somebody else raise your hand and let me know if someone else is here. And you haven't all gone to the pub. Oh, Lord. All right. The last one is the municipal bulk zoning code and the municipal site code, which I have given you. A, in the zoning schedule, the R40 zoning schedule, and B, in class notes, I've given you provisions like maximum proposed grade is 1 on 3. So, I cannot stress using this document because it's literally the checklist that you should be using for your thing. So, we do have some questions. Excellent. Are there fire hydrants on the existing roads? Let's attach our existing conditions. Let's see. So I've got water main, water main, water main, water main. Oh my goodness. What is going on here? It doesn't appear to be any hydrants there. But what is the code? There is a minimum distance. So, in this situation, what I would do is I would assume that all the existing homes have hydrant service, and I would propose one. If the minimum distance was 1,000 feet, I would propose one at 500 feet, knowing that my proposed could service all the homes in there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyone? Yes, okay. You guys, Declan, you look like the only guy here, I guess. Someone else speak up. I think I took you all off. Oh, wait, did I put you guys all back on mute again? How did that happen? Hold on. All right. All right, you guys should use your mute buttons. And I will unmute you all. I am sorry, I had you all unmuted. And I didn't hear you, forgive me. Oh, I guess I can only unmute one at a time. That's I'll find out how to fix that later. For next class, but that seems like my issue, not yours. If you guys can hear me, that's good. I hope I'm not boring you to death. Let's look at the rest of the questions and get through them. So if you have questions, post them in the chat. I have them, I see them, I will get to them. Existing fire hydrants. I'm assuming we have that answered where you put hydrants in starting at 1/2 the minimum spacing and then go to the minimum spacing to make sure all of your homes are protected by a new hydrant. Go over total volumes. Oh, wow, you got zeros. Someone got zeros. Okay, we'll do that. And how do I want you to hand in the documents? Good question. And when showing profiles for storm and sanitary, do we need to show both the existing and proposed surface? Yes, you do, and I'll show you how to do that too. All right. So, 7:30 is our normal break. Let us take 10 minutes, and I just want to go up and get something to drink. So, take 10 minutes, come back, and we should still get out of here pretty early. But think of any questions you have. And when we come back, get them into the chat. We will definitely, again, what I want to do now is help you get this project done. You guys have the requirements. I want you to tell me what you need help with, and I want to help you. So take 5, and we will be right back.